Hello, and welcome to It Is All a Work. We are here live after night one Wrestlemania, and it was a pretty good show. Here with me today, as always, we have Dresh and Hanji Manji, me, your boy Big T. And we're going to go through WrestleMania today, and then we're going to go through our predictions for WrestleMania Night 2. And, guys, let's just jump right into it. The one good thing about WrestleMania when you get to the PLEs is that there's not much room for a promo. And that's what I enjoy.
No talking, all action. Literally catch these hands.
Yep. So we're going to go right into it with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Becky's going to be sporting some new ring gear. Rhea Ripley is going to have the band that plays her music. I can't remember off the top of my head what their name is. But
Motionless in White.
Yep. Motionless White Boys are going to be playing her entrance music. And yeah, very good match. Gentlemen, we've got time today. So I gave it the ranking of 8.75. I thought it was really good. Dresh and myself were correct in choosing that Rhea retains. The chaotic G, who chose Becky, was obviously wrong. So G, because you chose incorrectly, I would like to get your thoughts on the match first.
Thought it was crap. No, overall, it was a good match. It was had a lot of action. I'd say, I don't know. I think Dresh is right. They're gonna have Rhea go through all of the horsemen. Well, the horsemen that are left in the company, and it kind of showed during that match. Like she was kind of manhandling Becky a little bit. Becky had her offense here and there, but overall, Rhea came out on top, as Mommy always does.
I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of that one. Sorry. I don't. Yeah, Becky had new ring gear, but it looked like it was pages out of her book, maybe. Because as she was coming out, they were. It was pages. There was shit written on it. So either she was doing an homage to the Space Marines and the Sisters of Battle with their oaths of moment on the papers, or she was shamelessly promoting her book by tacking pages from her book to her ass. I didn't like the way her ring gear looked. As far as the match itself, I think it was a very well executed match. I think, there really wasn't a lot of downtime during the match. It was, entertaining and engaging the whole time. And I think it went the way that we assumed it was going to go. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah. I will say Rhea walking down, like singing her entrance theme was crazy to me. I was like, I've never seen a wrestler really just get into her theme, but she was all about it. She was into that.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Rhea actually modeled her entire look off of the lead singer of Motionless White Boys. So,
Motionless in White.
Motionless in White Boys. Gotcha.
In white.
There's no boys. He's not a boy. They
Motionless White Boys.
They look to be,
right.
He's got a non-binary look.
So yes,
Sam wanted to put his 2 cents in.
Sorry, y'all. I have a dog and he likes to bark at things. Go lay down. Go over there. Good boy.
He wanted to call bullshit on Rhea winning too.
we are live. That's how it happens when we're live. YouTube and Spotify won't see that. So yeah, for me, Becky's ring gear was just new. Everything was based on her book. When she came out, she was reading pages from her book in her intro. That's what that voiceover was her reading pages that came out of her book. So yes, and Dresh, that was actually a good catch because I did not catch the pages thing. So that's a good catch. So that actually ties everything together for me. So that's what all that was. I mean, obviously in the match, I'm doing this because it's WrestleMania, because we're streaming so much. We're doing the play-by-play thing a little bit differently. We're just doing straight up reaction rather than move by move. And I will say that, Becky did have a really good showing. Putting them two together was a very, very good idea. Rhea just being the powerhouse and Becky not being a luchador, but being luchador-esque in her way to move around and her quickness. Becky had a very many hope moments, but in the end, Mommy was just too strong and took her out. The match ends up being, she basically does her finish twice, once in the turnbuckle and then once on the ground. Or once on the mat, and that's what ends up being the pin. And that's the match. Like I said, I gave it 8.75. Gentlemen, what is your numerical rating?
I'd give it about an 8.5.
Yeah, I think we talked about it yesterday. I said I was going to give it an 8 at least.
Yeah, we need to talk about it. I did not write down y'all's ratings, so I wrote down mine. That was about it. But,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, my bad. We were in the middle of shooting stuff.
No, we're good. We're good. But yeah, 8 overall, I say.
I can't pin the thing in the chat. Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, so that's gonna move us into the 6-pack tag match. This match I took a decent amount of notes on just because, well, comparatively, just because there were so many cool spots that happened during the match. So, in looking at it, Dresh said that New Catch Republic wins SmackDown and DIY wins for Raw. G said that Awesome Truth gets the SmackDown belts and New Catch gets the Raw belts. And I said A-Town Down Under gets the SmackDown belts and DIY gets the Raw belts. As it would turn out, we were all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of us were partially right. What ended up happening is A-Town Down Under gets the SmackDown belts, and amazingly, Awesome Truth are your new tag champions on Raw.
Look, they stressed me, slammed the hell out.
He got a pin in a ladder match.
He got a pin and he grabbed the fucking belts. Like, when I say that match stressed me out on how hard I was cheering for R-Truth to actually win, bruh.
And he got a hot tag in a ladder match.
Yep. Yep.
That's some shit.
That was on Damien too, right? He pinned Damien, or who was it?
Yeah,
he pinned Damien. It was Damien, yeah.
Damien.
So that was pretty good. So yeah, gentlemen, talk a little bit about the match, your favorite spots. I mean, obviously R-Truth was a high spot on it, but do you guys have any other favorite spots that you'd want to talk about?
I will say, I will mention the one spot where Damien almost almost got wrecked. So the referee Jessica was trying to get Damien's attention to let him know that the ladder was broke. Damien looked at her, shook it off, and climbed the ladder anyway. Miz's crazy ass went on the opposite side, looking at the broken ladder, climbed up there, and they had their spot. He tried to do the South of Heaven, but clearly the ladder gave way, and it was just an ugly spot. But I just wanted to throw that out there on how crazy Damien is to be told that the ladder's broken, you should get another ladder. He's like, fuck that, we ain't got time.
I don't think it was so much that he's crazy. I think it's that he had that drive to need to retain that gold. Like we've talked about for the last several days, he needs that gold to feel fulfilled, you know?
That's fair, but I'm gonna need you to break kayfabe in order to save y'all lives, because bruh, that ladder, if you look, that ladder's leg was like this.
True.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. It was in rough shape, and it did finally give way. I don't remember who it was, but it did finally give way.
Well, after he tried the South of Heaven, Damien threw the ladder out the ring, and in another spot, R-Truth grabs the ladder and slides it in the ring. it gives it to Damien basically, and I think that's where we got towards our ending.
Josh, what about you, man? What was a good? What were good points for you on the ladder match?
You know, I enjoyed the entirety of this match. Everything was from the start of it, where you've got Damien just getting mollywopped by every team, which I think was the only way anybody was going to have a chance, other than Damien and them winning that. I think honestly my favorite moment, as bad as it sounds, was JD McDonough getting his teeth damn near knocked out of his head again.
I knew it. Y'all have this real high disdain for JD McDonough.
Other than that,
fuck
I really couldn't go high points in the way of technique or moves or anything to that matter, because the way this match was built and was running, there was no way for me to go, oh yeah, damn, look at that, because it was just people beating the hell out of each other with whatever they could get their hands on to hopefully be able to climb that ladder.
A lot of it seems like a lot of broken backs on the ladders for this match, because I think it was either Johnny Gargano or Ciampa went through a ladder. Tyler Bates, that looked like it hurt. I forgot what move it was, but it just looked, he was done for the rest of the night. He did not come back.
It was like that for most of them, from what I saw.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the air raid that he gave to Tyler Bate from the top of the ladder, or when he actually...
Yeah, that was insane. Like that reminded me of Jeff Hardy, Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, that type of match. I was like, God damn, that was a spot.
Well, I've got about 12, somewhere around 12, maybe 14 high spots that I took note of, so we can talk about them or we can just go through them. What I have is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne doing a double moonsault off the ladder to the outside of the ring. So that was kind of, I mean, not even kind of, that was just wild. Insane that they pulled that off. Tyler Bate receives a razor's edge onto a standing ladder while Pete Dunne is climbing it. So the way that looked is that Priest just grabbed Tyler Bate and razor's edged him into Pete Dunne, who was on the ladder.
It was ridiculous.
We get a AA, an attitude adjustment from Truth on the ladder, and he pins Priest. We talked about that. Grayson Waller getting slammed through a ladder from the outside, or from the ring to the outside. R-Truth taking DIY's table. You all remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, he just took it when I forgot about that. Yeah.
He just took it and just went the opposite way.
Bro was like, yo, I got a barbecue tomorrow. I need to take this.
I don't know if that was supposed to be in the match, but that was fucking hilarious. He just picks it up and was like, a table. Like, what?
There's no way, man. So there's a spot where Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are sitting here pulling tables from under the ring. They pull out one, and they pull out a second, and then while they're pulling out the second, Truth just decides he's going to take the damn table and set up a table on the other side of the ring. And you can see that Ciampa realizes that the table's gone, and he just pulls a third out and sets up their spot again. It was so damn funny. There's little things like that, man, just make me happy. Kofi jumps backwards off of a ladder under the participants from the outside of the ring, so he climbed up that ladder and just, like if I'm standing on a ladder like this, he just free fall jumped. And that's just, I always say when this kind of stuff happens, that takes a lot of confidence that you're gonna be caught.
So it's confidence, that's trust.
Yeah.
You know they gonna be back there.
Right.
That's a lot of trust.
Over the top rope DDT to the table on the outside from Gargano to Pete Dunne. Obviously, we already talked about this one. Ciampa gives the air raid crash to Tyler Bate from the top of the ladder. JD's interference. We talked about this. JD's interference, and he hits the devil inside on Truth. But then JD falls from the ladder to the outside through the 2 tables. He gets pushed off. We have Kofi taking the Razor's Edge on the chair from Priest. Priest hitting the South of Heaven on the Miz from the top of the ladder. We did talk about that one. It was kind of weak because the ladder broke on them. Or failed on them, or whatever the situation is.
I mean, that broke anyway. They just decided to do the spot anyway.
Yep. But obviously, the matches ended with Team A-Town Down becoming the SmackDown champions and Awesome Truth becoming the Raw champions. So we didn't talk about this with Rhea and Becky, and we're going to go back to it. But I want to ask you gentlemen 2 things. First of all, what's your rating? And second of all, who gets into a feud with them first?
So I'm gonna go with, I think it was a solid 7-5. As far as a ladder match go, it was way the hell up there. But as far as like a tag match goes, that wasn't wrestling. That was just throwing ladders around, essentially, for the most part. Like, the only moves you really saw were people's finishers. A-Town Down, I don't know why, but I've got this thing with the Orton KO tag team, because fuck them boys. As far as R-Truth and them, I don't know who's coming for that one. I'm still trying to figure out why the hell they have that belt, but you know.
Fan favorite. I gave it a 10 because for one, R-Truth got a belt. I'm just happy about that. It's not the 24/7 belt. It's an actual legitimate, WWE belt. Good for him. Match was crazy. Loved all the moves, the high risk. It was dangerous. I had the same theory, so that could be telling of what may happen tonight as far as the KO Randy Orton versus Logan. I was thinking KO and Randy Orton go after Grayson Waller and A-Town Down. And I say the first tag team to go after Awesome Truth, probably DIY. Just, it makes sense, they're gonna have their friendly back and forth now, I think.
Okay.
Yep. I also gave it a 10. I thought it was fantastic. I love the way that they capped off a couple things, and it was very good. It was a very well put together match, in my opinion. I'm going to say that I agree that DIY will be probably the first feud. I think, however, Judgment Day will invoke a rematch clause, or they'll end up getting a rematch at the next PLE, and then after that they'll properly go into a feud with someone else. I think before that they're gonna beat other teams like Alpha Academy and things like that, just little teams. I think they'll go through them, but I think that after they're done with Judgment Day at the next pay-per-view, I think, or PLE, I think that DIY will be their first proper feud. As far as A-Town Down Under, KO and Orton kind of makes sense for a lot of different reasons, but we're going to need a third person to add to that mix because Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are going to team up with Logan Paul now. So we're going to need a third person to throw in that mix. So we'll figure that out at some point. But yeah, I think KO and Randy Orton will be their first proper feud as well. I think that you're going to have like little instances, little pushes for maybe the Street Profits and Pretty Deadly. But the first proper one is going to be KO and Orton, I think. As far as Becky and Rhea, who is Rhea's next feud now?
Tiffy time.
She on SmackDown.
No, I honestly don't know because who else is there?
I mean, there wasn't anybody so far else that showed they had beef, so I don't know.
All right, unless they bring somebody from the ranks, like they start to split up Shayna and Zoe, and kind of have one of them go after her. But I don't know.
I think we're gonna see Liv Morgan.
Liv.
Like, in a way, she's already done it.
Yeah, I was saying she's already been there, done that.
Alexa Bliss also is slated to come back at some point. So it could be Little Miss Bliss.
That'd be good back and forth. I don't know about a match. Be a good back and forth.
What do you mean back and forth if it ain't a match? What you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, that's Rhea is super strong, athletic, has mobility. Alexa Bliss has mobility and flexible.
Yes.
I mean,
See, you're perfect. That's
trying for.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, yes.
I like to see AJ Lee make a return, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't know. She looks like a monster now, so.
I know. So this is gonna bring us into Dominic Mysterio and Santos versus Rey and Andrade, because Dragon Lee was injured on SmackDown. I still don't have the news story on that, on why Dragon Lee actually won't be able to make it, and they made a kayfabe spot for him, so we'll see. So Rey and Santos are going to win this one, so this is Rey getting the victory over his son, basically. We're going to get a double cross, so a couple memorable things that happened in the match. We had a double cross body from the top to the outside, which was pretty cool. We saw a massive elbow from Andrade to Dom that just like rocked Dom's lights to the point to where I felt like I had to mention it.
I mean, have whatever you want.
We have Joaquin Wilde getting involved. Then he gets jutted out from the middle rope to take out Angel Umberto, if you guys remember that.
I remember, yeah.
At the end, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get involved. Overall, I was not as impressed with this match as I could have been. And when I say could have been, I mean I would have been more impressed if Dragon Lee had been in it. They would have done more flips and more craziness, and it just wasn't all the way there for me, in my opinion. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was a match. Like,
It was a match. That's really where I can go with that. Yeah,
yeah.
There wasn't anything crazy, like you said. It was almost just what you kind of expected with it.
I didn't get any storytelling in the match either. It was just kind of like, all right, they're fighting, and then all of a sudden, the two massive luchadors come out and kind of pulverize everybody, and hey, Rey gets the victory. I rated it like a, what did I say, a 5.
I think I gave it like a 6, 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was a match.
Yeah.
No, nothing too exciting.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 just because Rey Mysterio and Dom and moving that storyline and stuff like that. But as far as a WrestleMania match, in my opinion, I understand why it was there, but it didn't live up to what a WrestleMania match could be. Now the thing
Could have been on
is,
SmackDown.
well, the thing is that there has to be a bad match on the card. There has to be. So if you were going to choose a bad match to have, I'm fine with that being the bad match.
Oh, well, we're going to get to the bad match. We're going to get to that.
So what do you guys think is next for LWO and LDF.
Oh, there's gonna be more. There's more
Oh, yeah.
matches coming between those two. That story isn't over. Like I don't know if somebody has to die for it to be over, but that story's not over with.
No.
Yeah, it's just gonna be more matches between them. Zelina's gonna have to fight Elektra. Maybe we'll see actual Ray versus Dom at the next PLE. Who knows?
Indeed, yeah, we still got to get our Carlito heel turn too. So it didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked, but it was weird. I was expecting it, but no dice.
So then we're gonna get to the boring match. That's gonna be Jimmy versus Jey Uso.
I will say right off the bat, I was Team Yeet from the beginning. Just throwing that out there.
Team Yeet.
Team Yeet.
I mean, the match itself. I think the reason why we're all being so silent is because
it could have lived up to something so much better. That's all I'm saying. It could have been better.
It could have.
been a lot
It really
better.
could have.
Yeah.
Like, I was just super kick for fucking super kick for super kick for super kick for super kick. Why? Why just fucking bury Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin music like that? Why?
For me, it wasn't even that. It was just the fact that they did the same moves they've been doing since 2014 in tag matches, only on each other. Nothing was new, nothing was innovative, nothing was crazy. Like, I watched the whole match. There was not one thing that got me out of my seat. There's not one thing that made me feel like this is a next level kind of thing. Like, it made me feel like, and I said this during the match, is that some people are only meant for tag team wrestling. And and I even said that, you know, Jay, we talked about the whole Yeet thing and, you know, Jay having that. Well, in my opinion, like, the Yeet thing is great. Like, but when you get in the ring, if you can't tell a story in the ring, saying the word Yeet and the fans being happy about it, and when you walking out to the crowd and doing this and the fans loving it and everything, that doesn't mean anything when the bell rings and you can't work a match that's telling a story and that's exciting.
Well, I'll argue this. All right, what did you think about Jay versus Roman back in the day? That title match, the Tribal Chief match. What did you think about that?
I mean, it was one of those things where I liked it for the story that it was. Like, he did good. I mean, there was good work in it, but it's just, you have to look at it this way. Was it Roman dictating the match and carrying Jay to a good match? I mean, like, in every other match that he's had that we can say that's good in singles competition, like, was it just the other wrestler dictating the pace of the match? And then you've got, you know, Jay looking good because the other wrestler is making him look good. And now you've got two brothers in the ring who can't call a match or can't work a match and make it interesting. And now you've got a dud on WrestleMania.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a strong possibility. I just feel like they could have done better. I would have been happy with an all-out brawl, you know. It doesn't have to do any fancy moves. Just go out there and fight each other, you know, show some passion. That's what I was looking for, like a street fight. You got brother versus brother. Jimmy done lost you, 3 title matches. Nah, I'm kicking his ass. I ain't about to super kick him. I'm throwing his ass into the barricade. We going in the crowd. I'm throwing him into the fucking ramps. Like, no, we're fighting.
Yep.
Nah, we didn't get that. We just got super kick, top rope.
Yep.
I'm like, it could have been so much better, but whatever.
Even one Thez press where he's just like beating the hell out of him, like something.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Dresh, what are your thoughts and opinions?
I'm letting y'all run your thing. I honestly think I agree with you across the board. I do. The match, it had a lot of build up to it. They built big. They talked a big story. the match was a fucking letdown. Like,
sad.
there was a lot of dead space in the match. There was a lot of time where there's, the one that wasn't unconscious looked like he was gassed the fuck and was just standing there going, oh God, oh God. And at the end of it all, it didn't resolve anything. Jay won. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What's that mean? There was no return to the bloodline. There was no bring the boys back together moment. There was no, hey, we beat the hell out of each other, good job moment. There was nothing. No resolution to your story that you've built for the last fucking month other than Jay won.
Mm-hmm.
And?
Well, to be fair,
I was looking for that. Yeah. I was looking for at least Rikishi to come out or something. Could have gave me that.
Bro, Rikishi comes out, them boys gonna get hit with whatever the Samoan version of the chancla is.
Right.
I'm sorry. Rikishi gonna come out and go, what the fuck wrong with you two?
Like something that it would have been some emotion behind it. It just felt like shit.
Yep. So
no, that's my thoughts on it though. It's just the biggest thing for me out of all of it. I could have even dealt with the dead space and just the repeated kicking each other in the head if there'd been something to it. But at the end of the day, when all was said and done, there was nothing. You wasted my time.
Basically.
Yeah, and it should be noted that at the end, Jimmy did feign like he was sorry and all this stuff, and then when he tried to take advantage of Jay kind of being nice and forgiving his brother, Jay kind of reversed everything, did the splash, ended up taking the win. So yeah, just an upsetting match. Could have been better. Well, we are going to move into a decent. Oh, by the way, what did you guys rate this match?
About
3.5.
Yeah. This was the letdown, hopefully, of the whole PLE, both nights.
Yeah, because it just so much hype built behind
it. It had a chance, and it just didn't.
Yeah. And I rated it at a 5 just because it was a match. I should have rated it lower. I was very nice.
Super nice.
Motherfucker said because it was a match.
Because it was a match.
So now we're gonna move on to Damage Control versus Naomi, Jade, and Bianca.
Relax. Relax.
Squirrel says, by the way, that he called 99% of his winners so far. Me too. I'm in the same boat, actually. I'm at 99%. I would be at 100 had it not been for that one thing with the Awesome Truth winning the titles.
Hey, they gotta get some.
So, but this was a decent enough match, is what I'll say. It was a decent enough match. It set up Bianca and Jade for the tag titles, in my opinion. It set them up going forward. Couple high spots is the insane elbow from the top rope to the floor on Naomi. That was crazy.
It was crazy.
So just to put in perspective, back in the late 80s and early 90s, people were saying that, Cactus Jack was crazy for doing an elbow onto the concrete from the apron. And Kyrie's jumping off the top damn rope to the floor to hit Naomi while she's standing with an elbow. Just crazy shit. Just crazy shit. Bianca Belair, I've been waiting for it ever since I saw it happen with Sasha Banks. The whip with the hair.
God. My back.
That was nasty.
Here, just. God.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. All you heard was shabow, and the fans were like, "Oh shit!" So that was very nice. It was very dope to see that. Asuka is going to end up misting Kaori Sane on accident, which is going to lead to them losing the match. Jade is going to get the pin with the I can't remember what the move's called. The Glamazon Slam, the Glam Slam.
Glam Slam, same thing.
Well, yeah, she calls it something different. I can't remember what she calls it. And she gets her pin, licks her fingers when she pins her, whatever. The whatever pin she's doing. And yeah, Jade Cargill has arrived. Not only did I call the winner of that match, but I also called the pin. I mean, honestly, I think you guys agreed with me when I said that Jade was going to get the pin.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be.
But you guys talk about the match a little bit. If there's anything that I hadn't mentioned or any high points that y'all liked, just talk about how y'all felt about the match and where do you think things go? Because we're all in agreement with Jade and Bianca. Where do you think Naomi goes from here?
That's a very good question. I do not know where she goes from here, honestly. Because I feel like Bianca and Jade are going after the titles against the Kabuki Warriors. Maybe Naomi takes on Dakota Kai. I don't know. They just try to faction out Damage Control, just continuously, fight them. But all in all,
I can see
I don't know.
Naomi's solo run. I can see that. But again, looking at TikToks and all that from WWE back in the locker room, what if you put Naomi with Nia as a tag team? Naomi
Different locker
and
room,
Nia tags. The draft is coming up.
That's true.
True.
I mean, you could have a complete shakeup on everybody but the champions, I assume.
You can shake up the champions.
You might have to after tonight.
Yeah, so honestly, we might get
Cody's on Raw, so if he wins the belt tonight.
But I mean, it's the United, or it's the as long as they keep the belt together, isn't it for both? The Undisputed is just like everything else, where they united them, isn't it?
Supposed to be.
That's what I thought.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Roman's had it longer than I've been back in wrestling, so I didn't know if I was pretty sure at one point though I saw him with two belts that they united into one. So
no, what I'm saying is if he wins the SmackDown Universal Championship, he's on Raw. So then you have two champions on Raw. So either he has to get drafted to SmackDown or becomes SmackDown, which I think is what they do. I think if you win the main strap for a brand, I think you just automatically or have to go there.
Because I've seen champions get drafted. Like so, Raw can pick up. If Roman still wins, Raw can pick up Roman.
True.
And take him over there, and he'll have the Undisputed, and then SmackDown will take whoever wins between Seth Rollins and Drew. Like it does not matter. It just depends on who goes first. If they want that champion there, all right, cool. Now, as far as the tag champs, they will swap belts. So that's how that works.
okay.
Well,
yeah.
So like if Awesome Truth had picked up the SmackDown belts, and they just with the belts.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. But as far as that match is considered, I think he kind of hit the nail on all the heads. Just those memorable moments, and then Dress drooling over Jade Cargill's abs. Just motherfuckers looking like Homer Simpson looking at a donut. Just
that's a hell of a woman, bro.
So back to the question at hand. I think Naomi is going to become like a manager for them.
Really?
Okay.
I think that because if you watch the press conference afterwards, They were talking about like Naomi having her time and Bianca's had her time, and now it's Jade's time. What's for Naomi's for Naomi, for Jade, for Bianca kind of thing. It kind of made me feel like it's a possibility that Naomi becomes like not a manager permanently, but like a hype person for them. And on top of that, I can see Naomi going against Bayley. Obviously Bayley's my pick, but whatever, we'll get to that. But I see Naomi trying to do that as well. We'll see. But I think they're going to create like this like Soul Sisters kind of faction.
Okay.
And I think Naomi's going to be the hype person for it.
I can see that.
But I think that it needs to be a 4-person group. So I just don't know of another African American female wrestler who can join it right now.
BFAB, but she's already with the Street Profits.
Right.
So. But they can link up.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, Montez Ford is in the Street Profits. Bianca and Montez Ford is the thing.
That's true. So
I don't know. I'm excited to see where that
She's
goes.
fucking married to it.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
what rating did we give this? What rating did y'all give it?
What did I say? 8? I think I said
I'd say
8.5.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
It was a good match. I gave it a 7.5. It was pretty decent. All right, so we're gonna go to Sammy and Gunther.
Gunther.
I would
We
like
gotta
to
talk about
mention that I was the closest on the chops. If he could have gotten one more chop in, that would have been 14.
I don't count that. No, cause you out here playing Price is Right shit. Nah, we ain't doing that.
I thought, look, you choose a number. I chose a number. That was the number I legitimately thought.
Oh my God, Squirrel's number 15. All right, one below 14. What?
Either way.
Ugh.
13 chops overall. Multiple hard-hitting power bombs. I think it was 3 or 4.
3.
Sammy's
He
going to
took a
go
total of 3.
over in this match.
It's bullshit.
Tells the story of a man who can just get his ass handed to him for 30 minutes straight and come back and win. Gunther taunted his wife, made fun of him, and all of this good stuff.
To still beat his ass while he was doing it. Nah.
He did, and then after the match, Samantha Irvin was even popped for it. Samantha's voice was shaky when she did the announcement for him winning. So and Samantha Irvin is a person that I would honestly like to be, and that is that she approaches wrestling with a childlike charisma and attitude, and I love that about her. So like when she has those emotional reactions, like I watch her Facebook page, when she has those emotional reactions, like that shit, to me at least from my perspective, that shit's real. Like she's like,
Yeah.
you know, in it. She's in it. So very, very cool. I personally gave this match a 9. I thought it was amazing. What do you guys think? High points, ratings in his first feud. Let me know.
I think the high
6.5.
point. I'd give it a 7. I think the high point for all of it was Jade's hot tag. I think a lot of people, the biggest thing they were looking for with this match was to see Jade Cargill actually on the mat.
No. He's talking about
Oh, we
Sammy and
moved on.
Gunther.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, we're on them now. My bad. My brain broke. Sammy and Gunther, I gave this one like a 5.
No,
There's
it's
no
the
way.
abs. Look, I told you he's looking at the abs.
There's no way that Sammy should have got thrown around this fucking mat like he did for 20 minutes and just out of nowhere pulled that shit out. Looked like he got possessed by a demon at the last fucking 10 seconds. Ah, damn, Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt back at it, I see. Fuck. It didn't make sense. I hated it. I honest to God hated it. I agree that Gunther needed to lose the belt. Sammy ain't that man.
This right now, this is a Gunther crybaby right here. The Gunther crybabies.
That is fair. I could care less, because you know what? Sammy looks like a weak champion. He looks weak. He looks like he can just get his ass beat, and then the power of positivity. Like, he's not even hulking up. It's not like, Hulk Hogan. It's a little bit like that, where he's just like, oh yeah, and then he still get his ass whooped. He's just positivity. I'm gonna make it through this. What real life situation? You get your ass handed to you consistently, and you just, oh, I got to go now. Nah, that, get out of here. Like I said, 6.5. Still, the overall, the last little bit was good. If it was an evenly matched match, I would say the ending would have been good. The haluva kick off the while Gunther was on the top turnbuckle, the haluva kick off of that, and then all those with the what's the fuck is that called? The brain buster off the top rope.
What?
The brain buster off the top rope.
Yeah, that's what it was. Was the brain buster off the top rope?
Yeah, that was good. But again, it has to be consistent. Like, those moves it was all good. I would have been happy if he won if it was consistent like that. But he got his ass handed to him. Then all of a sudden, power of positivity, and then he's like, "Oh, haluva kick, brain buster, haluva kick, win, fuck out of here."
He used his El Generico brain buster from the top rope to set everything up.
Well, like I said, 6.5.
Like I said, I gave it a 9 for storytelling. I gave it a 9 for Gunther. I gave it a 9 for the ability, for the story of the ability to overcome the odds.
Mm-hmm.
So they were telling the Daniel Bryan story on a smaller scale.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Move on.
I know sometimes it's hard as grown-ass men to see stuff like that and be like, in what real-life circumstance, if I walk up and my boss fires me tomorrow, and I fight my hardest, he gonna just let me back? I'm gonna win that. Like,
no. What he did was, my boss fired me. I fought, and now I'm the CEO. Fuck out of here. That's the equivalent of what happened last night in that match. Get out of my face with that.
Fair enough. Well, a tough crowd on the Sammy and Gunther. But we were all correct when it came to Reigns and the final boss versus Rhodes and Rollins.
Oh man, that match.
I can't even be mad at it. That was the best match of the night, hands down.
Man. It was Rocky's heel work. Rocky's heel work was just fantastic. There on the outside, Rocky tells the ref, "If you count, you're fired."
So yes, some high points of that match are them fighting through the crowd and up the arena at one point. The Rock saying that he'll fire the ref if the ref counts them out. And honestly, just constantly berating the ref. Anytime the ref tried to do anything that was referee-like, The Rock literally was like, don't do that, whatever. He said, The Rock, like, when the ref tried to say this or that, he, like, literally, at one point, The Rock was like, The Rock doesn't give a fuck. And he was just like... So, Seth spitting prime on Mama Rock. Roman,
it looked like she was gonna go throw hands.
Roman at one point speared The Rock. Cody gave a rock bottom to The Rock through the announcer's table. Roman spears Seth through the announcer's area. Rock starts spitting on everybody. The match itself.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some gospel. Lay some gospel down.
The match itself.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the match itself. It was good. You know how it is. Rocking. I will say it started off a little weird in the beginning because it just seemed like, I don't know, maybe it was just me. Something was just off, like, because they would lock up and then they would back off, and I don't know. It just seemed like it was off. Can y'all have any insight on that?
No, it was a lot of. I think they were trying to continue to showcase Rocky like they did because it was such a big final boss moment, but nothing against him and his training. I just don't think he has the ring presence he used to, in that he was gassed after, a minute or two in the ring. You saw he took that fight out into the crowd. Then when he threw Cody back in the fucking ring, no, he threw Seth back in the ring. You see him collapsed to a knee on the outside, and you see him fucking doing this, trying to breathe. I mean, I think a lot of the pace slowdown was to try and give Rock a second to get his head back in him so that he could get back in it and continue with it.
Well, even though, with Roman, like, Roman carried a lot of that match. It was not the best show put on. Like, I even said in the very beginning, like, what we've been kind of alluding to and talking about is that, like, a lot of hitting the ropes and then randomly stopping and staring, and I feel like I know what they were trying to do with that. They were trying to build The Rock is smart and he knows what he's doing, and he's just going to stop momentum, and he doesn't have to do a wrestling move. He just has to, he can just stop and the wrestling will stop or whatever. But the thing is it came off very, like, awkward, not organic.
Yeah.
I personally rated the match. So, if I'm going to take everything into account, the entire story, and everything that happened, the best rating I'm willing to give it is a 7. That's the best rating I'm willing to give it. But if I'm going straight off of the wrestling that happened in it, it is lower than that. Like, if someone asked me, hey, rate the wrestling that happened in the match, it was... Again, I'm nice with my ratings. I'd say like a 5.5. The Rock, I do believe, was gassed at some point. I do believe that. There was even a point, I think I even mentioned it while we were watching, that when they were fighting through the crowd, again, like Dresh was talking about, he actually spit water on Seth, but then he drank some water and poured it on his body because he was becoming overheated.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Like, that wasn't a I'm a heel, whatever, I think I'm going to do this. He needed that at that point, And the thing is like, something The Rock said in the press conference is that you can train as much as you want, but when you're out there, it's different. You can't simulate being in front of a live audience. And the reason it is because, when The Rock comes out and he does this whole goosebumps gimmick, he's knocking his goosebumps back down, that in itself takes cardio from your body. The Rock hasn't wrestled in more than 10 years. He hasn't had a proper match in more than 10 years, and finally he comes back to the ring and he's wrestling in the main event at Wrestlemania. The level of nerves that you've got to have, especially outside of not, like, being in ring shape and trying to just, like, boot camp yourself back into ring shape, like, dude was gassed, and
It showed.
It showed, but also, like, of course he was gassed. You can't blame him for being gassed. He's an older gentleman now, and everything else that I mentioned. So, the match in and of itself was just a step, and it didn't. I honestly would not say that it was good as the six-pack match. I don't think that it was good as Rhea and Becky. It was better than Jimmy and Jay.
Everything was better than Jimmy and Jay.
I said, motherfucker, the mashed potatoes that you made 2 weeks ago were better than Jimmy and Jay.
And
Cole talking on the mic is better than Jimmy and Jay. That shit pissed me off.
CM Punk drunk was better than Jimmy and Jay.
It was.
So yeah, it just wasn't the best thing I had ever seen, but that's all right because you know what, Roman Reigns and Cody are going to put on a good match. They're not going to get gassed, and the point is that we're having Bloodline rules tonight, and that is the big story. Bloodline rules tonight. The Rock came back and wrestled his match. However, I will say, and I think that it's very obvious and very good that The Rock did not get his main event with Roman Reigns because it would not have been a good match. In my opinion.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Now, that match is coming down the line still, but at least The Rock will have a little bit more time to get ready.
Yeah. I think they called an audible because he wasn't going to have time to get ready for a match, like a full-out brawl. I mean, they called it for other reasons, but I think if he wasn't doing as much as he was on the board, you know, getting what is it called, the XFL, or they combine the leagues now, and he's ahead of that too. It's wild. He's doing a lot, so he wouldn't have had time to actually get in ring shape. So
yeah, these older guys have the secret to life, man. If you stay busy, you never die.
Clearly, he doesn't stop.
Yep.
And now he's out here putting on a 15-minute match. Shit.
Yep.
Kudos to The Rock.
So that was WrestleMania Night 1. If I was going to give my rating for the entire night, I think they're knocking it out of the park, honestly. And I would say I would give it a 9.5 at this point. There are a couple things that I would have liked to be better, but
you can't give it a 9.5 with that Jay and Jimmy bullshit. I'm sorry. Come on.
What you feeling?
I'm feeling an 8.
Okay.
An 8.
I agree.
It was high points, but fucking Jimmy and Jay, they legit pissed me off that much.
Well, I think you have multiples in there too, where we're looking at the story aspect of, fuck yeah, but like you were just talking about with Roman and Rock, overall, the wrestling was pretty subpar. I mean, yep, Rocky got his finishers in, they look clean. He didn't do his little jukey juke, which, you know, I mentioned that last night.
Little jukey juke. All right, what's the little jukey?
You know what I'm talking about. It's part of the damn people's elbow. Fuck that. You gotta do the little dance. You gotta do the little dance. It's part of the people's elbow. But what I'm saying, you know, from the standpoint, you're wrestling, like you said, there was several of the matches, even the ladder match, there was a lot of just, it was hitting people with chairs or hitting them with the ladder, or just throwing them off the ladder, which I understand. That's what you're going to get from a ladder match. But maybe let's do a little bit of wrestling before we, you know, do the ladder. Let's do what we're here to do.
7.8 overall.
Okay, 7.8.
I mean, honestly, those are all apt, very, very apt ratings. Again, I'm more of the happy guy. I'm just happy that it's WrestleMania weekend, and like I go for the feeling. As conservative as I am, I'm very with the feeling of WrestleMania. So, and I feel hyped.
He likes feeling something, all right.
Yeah, well, you feeling something? I don't know, but again, I'd say 8. Just flat. I mean, it's still good overall. It's still good. So
yeah. So this is gonna bring us into our press conference, and then we'll get into our predictions.
Get out.
Sam has something to say.
Sam,
Get out.
stop. And then we'll get into our predictions. So, press conference, I'm just gonna shoot through it, and we'll go straight to our predictions. There was only a couple things that happened. So your first guess is Rhea. She basically put all the women over in her little thing, and then she said that Finn was afraid of heights, which I thought was hilarious. Then Naomi, Jade, and Bianca came out next, and they talked about how they're dominant, but also about what it means to them being years apart as far as their time, and talked about their unity and what it means to them to be black women inside of WWE. Roman Reigns then came out, and Chris Van Vliet asked Paul Heyman a question, which pisses off Heyman because he's supposed to be asking the Tribal Chief questions and not Heyman. And so when Chris is done being berated by them, he finally gets to ask Roman a question, and he asks him a softball, which was, Roman, great night. You had a great showing tonight. What can we expect tomorrow night with Cody Rhodes? And so Roman, playing the heel and being pissed off, says, next question. So some shade to Chris Van Vliet.
From you, it seemed like.
Answer your emails, Chris.
Damn. God damn. I'm trying to start beef.
I ain't trying to start beef, man. He is eons above us right now.
Let's say he's trying to start beefs with another fucking podcast. God damn.
So Roman then asks someone from the third row to ask a question, and she says that she acknowledges her tribal chief. And Roman says, "That's right. As a matter of fact, everybody acknowledged me." And so Paul Heyman immediately stands up, does the one symbol, and some brave soul in the back goes, "Boo!" And immediately Roman goes, "Who said that?
Get out.
Get out.
Get him out."
And then she goes, "If they don't leave, I'm leaving." And then they stall for a little bit, and he looks at her and says, "Yeah, I'm serious. Use your legs." Or use your feet or whatever. Yeah, wild.
That's still work right there.
Yeah, so after that, though, Roman gets asked about his leukemia, and it turns out that Roman is taking medication for leukemia, and he will have to take it for the rest of his life. But however, he is in remission. So that's just something that he has to live with day to day. So I just didn't know that, so I figured it was something worthwhile to mention. Finally, The Rock is going to come out and confirm that there might be more matches with him in the future. He says that him coming back was made easier because Ariel Awadi bought the company, and they've been business partners and known each other for 20 years, and he's known Nick Khan since they were kids in Hawaii. So he said it was a lot easier for him to come back. And he says that they just couldn't make a deal 2 years ago for WrestleMania 39 when they were planning WrestleMania 39. He said we couldn't come to an agreement, and it was him that just said, "Hey, let's just put the pins down and let's just revisit this because we're obviously not going to come to an agreement." And then a lady from Sportskeeda asks The Rock, "Are there any surprises planned for tomorrow?" And The Rock said, "Yes, but I'm not going to tell you." He's like, "Good try, though. Good try." Literally goes as far as to ask her for her name and everything, and it's like, "What's your name?" "Huh, all right, cool, Emily. Yeah, good try, Emily. That was good. And then even on his way out, he was like, "Bye, Emily." And then obviously Triple H is going to come out, and Triple H is going to put over the entire show. Which is exactly what he did. He put the entire show over. And that was pretty much it. We're going to get into our night 2 predictions now. So there's a couple that we're not invested in, but then most of the show we're still invested in. This is going to be a dynamite show. Let's go ahead and do the 2 easy ones first. The first one is the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament and Karrion Kross in the AOP. Obviously, B-Fab and Scarlett will be at ringside. We'll start with Dresh. Dresh, who do you think is going to win?
This is one they just kind of popped on us, isn't it? This wasn't one I didn't really see build anywhere, or did I miss something? Because
there was
built, but it was built. It's just it was behind. You're not gonna get much out of another build like you would get the Bloodline, like the Judgment Day. It was just kind of tossed in the back, but it was built to it.
Looking at it, I like Bobby Lashley and his crew. I really do. I like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I'm hoping, say, they make a good match out of this. I hope it's not just them trying to get some fill in, but the little bit of build I've seen with it looks very interesting. So I'd like to see Bobby Lashley and them go over on it.
Good.
I'm taking Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I'm gonna go ahead and say that he's come out on top of this. I mean, Karrion Kross and AOP, who are just monsters. Just two. Why are two people built like that? And why are they in the tag team? That's insane. But I see I see them coming out on. I see Street Profits coming out on top.
All right. I'm gonna say that I'm feeling the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley's group. I think that Karrion Kross's Karrion Kross is a great wrestler. I think he's going to have a good showing. But I think Pride ends up going over. But the New Testament or the whatever Final Testament, the Final Testament has had too much high points over the Pride in the past. So I think that it's going to be a hard fought match. I think it's going to be a good match, by the way. Anything with Dawkins and Montez is great. And Bobby Lashley, obviously fantastic. AOP, hard-hitting people. And again, Karrion Kross, very good wrestler. So I'm really hoping that they get to showcase themselves and put an end to this feud.
Well, Drush has a feud with Montez Ford, so...
I just don't like Montez Ford. I'm sorry. I don't have a... I got no problem with Bianca. No.
Yeah, Bianca got abs too, so.
Man.
All right,
Jesus,
so
relax.
So we're moving. We're gonna move on to AJ Styles versus LA Knight. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking?
Bore.
LA Knight.
I'm thinking it's gonna be a bore. But you know what?
I'm calling the Knight. I think LA Knight.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go with AJ Styles on this one.
I think AJ Styles' roid rage is finally going to wear off, and it's just going to be able to take care of this.
I'm sorry, but if a motherfucker shows up at my home and processing the fight, he getting his ass handed to him. I'm sorry.
Motherfucker, he ain't going to make it off the property if he steps on.
Yeah, so that's why I say AJ has to go over. Otherwise, he looks weak.
Especially if my
as
family
shit.
is on that property. No.
Yeah.
No, the cops gonna have to pull my ass off him.
So
don't come near my family. I don't give a shit. It's not worth it. Don't come near my family. That's just end of the day.
So Squirrels says that LA Kite is gonna win. I don't know who LA Kite is, but apparently he's in the match. No, I'm just I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we hate him too, Squirrels.
So I think that LA Knight goes over. Definitely. Did you guys see when they were at? I think it was at WWE World. AJ
the fight they had there.
Well, they got into it. They were right next to each other, and like, I actually know it was before SmackDown. So AJ Styles was like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you or whatever. And then LA Knight called him a pussy. He's like, you want to be at SmackDown, pussy? Like, I'm like, oh my God. So, this new era that's popping off is as far as language is concerned, and even attitude itself is pretty dope. But I think LA Knight goes over, definitely. So let's move on to some things that might end up being a little bit more muddy. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton.
I got the Viper. Right out the box, no questions asked. I got the Viper. I think they're going to work together. and curb stomp that little bitch into the ground. And then they gonna square up in opposite corners. And at the end of that fight, I think you're gonna get the Viper.
I hate to say it. I think Logan Paul wins.
I'm gonna throw a prime bottle at you.
That's fair. I'm trying to get some W's in here. I was chaotic yesterday, so I'm trying to think logically because.
Well, just out of curiosity, because I just don't. Him and his I'm all calculating and blah blah blah. Bitch, yeah, you calculated right into a fucking RKO.
Well, and there's gonna be interference. Like Grayson Waller and what's his nuts, Austin Theory is gonna come out. They're gonna be a distraction, and he's probably gonna have one of his goonies be a distraction, and somehow he's gonna get the brass knucks away from Randy.
If I'm wrong, he's gonna start having a hard time getting KSI. Is that his name?
Yeah.
To come on the show, because the last 2 times he's come on, he's got hit with a.
And that's what I'm saying. It's time for KSI to get his get back. So I think he gets the brass knucks away from Randy Orton because I feel like he's gonna bring the brass knucks. Randy's gonna bring the brass knucks tonight, but I think he gets it away from him and pops and wins. I could be wrong, but it just makes sense to me because you need another group to have all gold.
Man, I'm thinking Logan Paul. I really am, but something in the back of my head is telling me KO. And I don't know why, but I'm going to choose Logan Paul. Even though, and I'm just saying it for posterity, and I will not take it as a win if KO ends up winning. But my official choice is Logan Paul, but I just want it to be said that in the back of my mind, I think that KO might pull it out, and I don't know why.
I can see it.
But I just think the prospect of this new heel group will be good, and I think that it gives Logan Waller, in theory, reason to fight the Pride, or to fight the Final Testament, or to fight the Bloodline, or to fight whoever else. Like literally, but if you have the gold, you have a target on your back of, and if 3 people have gold, then you're gonna have teams of 3 coming after you. Damage control. No, I'm kidding. So all right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Io Sky versus Bayley. Who do we think's taking it?
Bayley's taking it.
Just like that, Bayley?
Yeah. If she doesn't take it, I'd be highly shocked. But I'm gonna say Bayley.
I tend to agree. Bayley's taking it. I think that she's put in the work. And I think, again, that this is going to lead to a Clash of Champions thing with Rhea and Bayley, and then Rhea is going to go over Bayley so that she can defeat all 3 remaining horsewomen, since Sasha is currently not, or Mercedes Moné is not in the mix currently. Hopefully by WrestleMania 41, Sasha will be back.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Squirrels has a theory of Braun Breaker coming out to beat on Logan, but I don't think Braun's making it. Right now, he's the NXT tag champ with Baron Corbin. I just don't see him. I know he signed to SmackDown, but I don't see him showing up at Mania. I see him showing up on Monday, but not at Mania. Or not Monday, but Friday, but not at Mania.
Speaking of Braun Breaker, did y'all see the video of him running the ring on the ropes and him moving the fucking ring?
Yep.
While he was running? What the hell?
The ring wasn't put down correct.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, I don't think it was put down correctly, but still, that's a lot.
Yeah. When your ring moves like that, someone didn't anchor it correctly. So, I mean,
Maybe he
either
broke
that
the
or, I
ankles.
mean, like, he moves so damn fast. Yeah, like Squirrels is saying, he moves at 27 miles per hour in the ring. Like, it's crazy.
That's a lot for a small space, for a square space. Why are you running that fast?
I don't know. Can you imagine getting a clothesline from that motherfucker? Like, I don't care who
Oh.
you are. Right? That shit gonna hurt.
Nah, because he's built like his father, and he runs like Ricochet.
That's what I was saying. He runs like Ricochet. Yeah, absolutely he does.
He runs like Ricochet. He's built like his father. That is insane. Fuck him. That is, I don't know. That's weird. That's wild to me. But
Yep. So, all right, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Who do we see going over?
Damian
See, this
Priest.
is where it gets a little muddy. He said Damian Priest. That's what I said. Damian Priest. That's what legit what I was gonna say. He comes out, he ruins Drew's moment. Like I say Drew gets the final blow on Seth because Seth is still gonna put him through the ringer. While Drew is on his last gas, gets
that
the
man's
victory.
gonna be in a wheelchair when he comes out tonight. He's gonna be burning it down from sparklers on his fucking tires on his wheelchair as he comes down the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
They beat his knee to hell last night.
They did. And it was for a purpose. So unless Seth Rollins pulls one out of his ass, gets the victory, and then Damian comes out and hits him with the South of Heaven or Outsider's Edge, or what was it really called? I always called it the Outsider's Edge, just the
Razor's Edge.
Razor's Edge, yeah. He puts him through a table with the Razor's Edge. I don't know.
All right, so
yeah,
who do you believe ends up walking out with the title?
Damian.
I don't think logically, if he was going to be logical, which Damian, while he is the smartest of Judgment Day, he's not always logical in that sense. He's very impulsive. Logically, he's going to have the best chance with the Roman Cody fight because Cody's still viable, and those two are going to beat the ever-loving hell out of each other. But there's just something in me that says he's gonna go after the Seth belt. It's just there's something in me that says it. I really think he's gonna have to actually fight for it, unlike some of the other Money in the Banks we've seen, where they can just come out and pretty much go and win. Because even if Seth does find a way to put up a fight tonight, it's not gonna be a glorious, unless he's got Mr. Miyagi in the back doing this shit for his leg and it's magically better. The man couldn't even stand at the end of last night. There's only so much that could happen overnight to fix that. So okay. I think Drew's going to be pretty clean going into Damian, but I think Damian's going to cash in on Drew.
Logically, like I said, Seth might get a victory out and then Damian cashes in. So
who do you think wins the match?
Damian.
No. I'm saying who wins Seth and Drew?
Drew. I think Drew wins.
He says Drew.
I
want to say Drew, but something in the back of my mind is telling me Seth is going to win it.
If Seth can come out there walking and not limping, then we might see a good show out of this. But I really think they're going to give it to Drew.
So what do you think, G? Give me a name.
What for?
Who wins the match between Seth and Drew?
Seth. I'm gonna go with Seth. Something in the back of my head telling me Seth.
I also put Seth wins, but Damian cashes in on Seth and wins. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think Seth pulls it out by the skin of his teeth, and Damian comes out and just
obliterates.
Done.
South of Heaven 6 times.
Also, it would be poetic justice because that's how Seth won his title. Well, one of his titles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the heist of the century.
Yep. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Who do we see going over, gentlemen?
I've been going back and forth with this one. I do not know.
I am still in the mindset of Roman wins. There's some stipulation they throw in, and Cody gets the belt at SummerSlam. I think they have I think they have Roman retain to SummerSlam. I don't know what can fall in there. With Bloodline rules, any fucking thing goes. So they're going to have to come up with something good for Cody to get that next shot. But I think the story ends here. But as Cody said, when one story ends, an even better one begins. And I think they're going to have him. I think we're leading for something else for him at SummerSlam. Maybe The Rock takes it from Roman, not tonight, but in the next couple weeks. And he's got to take it from The Rock at SummerSlam.
I mean, it makes sense with the final balls, you know.
Since they didn't pull, I was originally going with the injured angle on Cody from the absolute hellish beatings he's taken over the last few weeks. But he was in there and he looked good last night, so they're not going that angle.
I'm gonna say Cody pulls it out. I don't want him to, but I say Cody pulls it out.
I think
like Sports said, if Cody loses, he can't challenge again.
Yeah, this is the same thing he did in AEW. If he loses, he can't go for the title again.
Did he say can't go for the title again, or he can't challenge Roman again?
The Rock said he can't go for the title again.
Yeah, Rock said the title.
I thought the stipulation was he couldn't challenge Roman.
Oh no, he said the title. He give a shit about Roman. I'm gonna have to go with Cody because.
The thing is, is that Dresch is still right. There is no clear winner here. It's not clear. Like,
it's not.
They could, because it's WWE. We're in the world of WWE. So anybody who's been watching for more than 10 years knows that, like, these little stipulations of, he can never challenge for the title again, this, that, the other. There are ways around that. So, like, there's always a way around that. Anything can happen. Like, I don't know if you guys were watching when Mick Foley signed a bunch of documents with Linda McMahon back in like 1999, 2000 or whatever. And then for like a year and a half to 2 years straight, Mick Foley came out and was like, I signed this random document that says this. Like, that was a part of the story. Like, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
You know what? I'm throwing it out there. Brock Lesnar returns and helps Cody. Boom.
I think that Cody Rhodes is going to win with The Rock giving a receipt to Roman for the spear.
An accidental receipt or
no, a clear receipt.
Clear receipt. So you think Rock turns?
No, I don't think the Rock's going to become a babyface. I think he's going to stay heel.
No. Turns.
I'm not saying it's a turn. I'm saying it's a bitch. This is what you get.
Yeah.
All from a spear.
We still need our match. We still need to set up our Roman and Rock match.
If I came up here and speared your ass, you wouldn't go, oh, shit.
To be fair, I've dropped things on G's foot before, and you kind of let it go, so. Yeah.
Did I?
I don't know. You also threw a lot of hammers and shit at my testicles, so there's a lot of problems.
You say, did I? Stop throwing shit at me.
That's fair. That's fair. So
I kind of forgave you for the whole game move, but I still get heated about it. It's a forgive, not a forget.
Man, you haven't forgiven nothing. You still bring it up every day almost.
Every chance I get.
I swear we've heard about it 3 times in the last week.
Wow.
Dreshy, you weren't there. You didn't feel the heat. You did not feel the heat.
Speaking of heat, did you see the pictures from the crowd? You know, the announcers came, it's fucking 45 degrees with the wind in here last night. You saw they had like 17 fucking heaters in the Titantron right down on the middle of the fucking ring. Mm-hmm. They didn't give a shit that it was cold.
No.
Nope, not at all. Well, gentlemen, we have our predictions in. We have gone over night one. We have done our second stream in a row. My friends, everyone who's watching this, thank you for staying here. Thank you for watching. Check us out on all of our social medias. And we're going to go and we're going to watch the pre-show. And then we're going to go ahead and watch night 2 of WrestleMania, and we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. to go over the fallout, and then we got Raw. It has been a crazy weekend so far. It's only going to get crazier. Thank y'all again so much for joining us. Let's go. Y'all have a good WrestleMania Sunday, and we will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Have a good night.
Yeah.